All right, I need a big coffee for this one. Are you ready? Strap in. Welcome, Illumineers and fans of the happiest card game on Earth. We are racing through this. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16... 17, 18 new cards, I think, to go through. If you're new here, welcome. We cover all things Lorcana. Make sure you like and subscribe and all that sort of stuff. We've got to go on, because otherwise this video is going to be an hour long. This is just a rundown of all of the new cards we've seen this week. Most of these came from the rules release, or the quick start rules release at least. If you would like to see how the game actually plays, you can watch our video up here for that, or here. I'm not sure which way the thing goes, but it's up here. Okay, cool. So we'll go in alphabetical order from newest to oldest to newest. First of all, we have Belle, Inventive Engineer. She is a Sapphire 3-cost flourish for a 2/3 with 2 lore. She has the ability Tinker. Whenever this character quests, you may pay 1 less ink for the next item you play this turn. So she's a mini Maurice, which is thematic. She's Maurice's daughter. Sapphire is definitely shaping. There's definitely going to be an item matters deck in Sapphire with Belle and Maurice. I imagine they're both going to be pretty strong as long as we see some items that are going to help with the win condition. At the minute, all the items are relatively supportive. It's draw cards, it's give rush, it's heal, that kind of thing. But I imagine we're going to see some items that just do give you lore. And that's very exciting. So I think Belle and Maurice is going to be really good. But right now, it's difficult to judge because we've not even seen a Sapphire item yet. Currently, the only items we've seen have been in Amethyst, Amber, and Amethyst. Actually, 2 of them have been Amethyst. So there is like a Sapphire Amethyst thing shaping up probably. But right now, yeah, we'd love to see some Sapphire items, but otherwise, yeah, she's great. And Steampunk Belle, fantastic artwork there. We love to see it. Captain Hook, he's a bit haunted. Apologies for the poor visual on this one. He's actually taken from like a graphic that shows you how to do challenges. It shows you the sort of the willpower and the strength battling each other. So that's why the numbers are on the side there. Obviously, as soon as we get a better version, we'll be looking at it. But yeah, Captain Hook, King of the Jolly Roger. Sorry, excuse me, Captain Hook, Captain of the Jolly Roger. He is a 4-costed non-flourish 3/4 in steel. Storyborn villain, pirate, captain. Villain, pirate, and captain I definitely think are going to be matters themes that we see moving forward. Villain we've already seen with Hades, so that's good. Double the power. When you play this character, you may return an action card named Fire the Cannons from your discard to your hand. So it's recursion, similar to what we saw with Lady Tremaine, although it's a little bit more specific. You're grabbing a certain action card from the discard rather than any action card which she allows. But still pretty good. You know, any recursion is great. So far, this has actually been popping off in testing. We've been seeing, we've been seeing Fire the Cannons get played. We've been seeing Captain Hook go and it come back. We've also been seeing Tinkerbell using her loot ability to discard Fire the Cannons and then play Captain Hook and then bring it back. So you've just got that card advantage from it. So real cool synergies already, even just with the single card that's mentioned here. The only problem is we don't really know much about Fire the Cannons yet. It was shown on like a fan of cards like this. So a lot of the details are mixed up. We're trying to, sort of theory craft what it could be, and it's most likely a 3-costed deal 2 damage, but we don't know. That's how we've been playing with it in testing. But hopefully we'll find out soon. But either way, even with that, a 3-costed 2 damage, which I think is on the sort of more conservative end of what the card could be, it's still Value Town, so like it's still good fun. This is a good card, plays well with the other Captain Hook. That's coming down on turn 1. You've got a turn 2 play. You can fire the cannons on 3. You can play him on 4, bring the cannons back. Oh, synergies, let's go. Dingle Hopper is a dark horse. First of all, totally claiming that this was completely down to me for doing the Ariel parody that we did, the Little Mermaid parody. This is the first Little Mermaid card we're seeing. We have seen more Little Mermaid art. Just today, like 5 minutes before I started recording this, we saw some Little Mermaid art, so I'll show you that in a moment. But yes, Dingle Hopper, which is the comb, the fork that she uses to comb her hair. It's a 1-costed flourished Amber item with the ability Straighten Hair. You can tap it to remove 1 damage from a chosen character. Unassuming little card, but actually not bad, you know? Like, you know, sometimes you're getting pinged for 1. That's the 1 damage that could give your character another challenge. So it just sticks around. You can play it on turn 1 if you've got nothing else to do. You can play it on turn 3 after putting a 2-drop down. Tap straight away. Just that 1 little point. You can get multiples of these out, we assume, as well. It's been confirmed that there's no legendary rule for characters. I can't see why that wouldn't apply for items as well. You know, I can just bing, 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 and just think, you know, if there is a Sapphire Amber items deck, this is free. This comes down for free with a Maurice or a Belle. So, yeah, unassuming little 1-drop, but actually seems to be pretty solid. Donald Duck, next of all, he's haunted as well. He was fighting Captain Hook, which is why he looks like he's fighting as Sideways number 2. I kind of love it. I tweeted the other day saying that if we ever get alternate arts, I want this card. I want Donald Duck fighting a number 2 for no reason, and it'll just be the most random little reference for haunted Donald Duck. He's a 2-costed Flourish, 2/3 in Ruby, Boisterous Fowl. He's just Storyborn, simple as that. And he's he has 1 lore. Like, yeah, okay, just a chaff card, but cool. Donald Duck's, it's great art. He looks like, Donald Duck always looks like he's about to get in a real mess, and I love the artwork here. But otherwise, yeah, you know, 2-drop, 2/3, fine. Hercules. He's a 3-costed Flourish, 3/3 Steel Dreamborn Hero Prince. Hercules True Hero, this is. Exciting stuff. Bodyguard. The first time we've seen this keyword, he gets 1 lore, and basically it's sort of like a taunt mechanic, like you have to deal with him before you can deal with anything else as far as challenging goes, that is. So, Bodyguard, he may enter Exerted, and if an opposing character who challenges one of your characters must choose one with Bodyguard if able. So the wording's really neat there. It means you can have multiple Hercules out and they don't like brick each other and mean that you can't challenge anything. You just have to pick one of them. But otherwise, pretty good. So far, there's an Emerald Steel deck that runs this and Cheshire Cat and Cruella de Vil, and it's basically saying, I'm going to sit here and quest, and you try and deal with it if you can, you know, and if you want to. Yeah, really good. Like, real solid Pillow 40 kind of stuff. Very thematic as well, with Hercules looking after people. Love to see it. Just in Time is an action card. It's a 3-costed non-flourish amber with awesome Maui art there. You may play a character with cost 5 or less for free. So basically this is a ram spell. This gets you a 5-cost out on turn 3 with some actual ink ramp. It might even get you a 5-cost out on turn 2. Right now, we haven't really seen the 5-cost in amber that it really wants to throw out. I'm going to guess there's a Maui. There's going to be an awesome 5-drop Maui in amber that gets out much earlier because of this card. Interesting design space. Right now, I don't really think we've seen how it's going to be used to its best potential, but still, yeah, neat design. LeFou is the Bumbler. He is a 2-costed flourish card with a 1/2 stat line in Amber, Storyborn ally for 2 lore, and he has the ability Loyal. If you have a character named Gaston in play, you may pay 1 less to play this character. This guy's a goat, man. Like, 2 for 2, 2 lore for a 2-drop is already pretty good. Like, really solid, that is. The fact that you can get him out cheap, like, you can't get him out turn 1. I'm pretty sure he's not going to be a turn 1 play because you've got to have the Gaston out. Most likely Gaston's like a 3 or a 4 or a 5 even. But still, if I can get a Gaston out and then drop like 2 of these on turn 4 or 5, you know, I'm probably getting like 6, 7, 8 lore on the table. Like, this could be really good. Even ignoring the Gaston stuff right now in testing, LeFou is pretty solid purely as a 2 lore for 2 ink, which I don't think we've seen. I like, maybe there's cheaper, but at the minute, yeah, 2 for 2 is real solid. Mickey Mouse, Steamboat Pilot. We've seen a Sapphire Mickey in Wayward Sorcerer. We'll look at him in a moment. This is an Emerald Mickey, Mickey Mouse Steamboat Pilot. We've seen a Ruby Mickey in Brave Little Tailor. We've seen the artwork for a Mickey that I'm going to guess is amber. It's, you know, it's yellow artwork, and he's the sort of classic Your Pal Mickey. And we've seen a Sapphire Mickey today, which we're going to look at in just a moment. So that only leaves a steel Mickey. Like, we're getting a Mickey in every colour, right? It's clearly obvious, so that's great. This one is fine, good body. A 3-costed flourish for 3/4 Storyborn Hero Captain in Emerald, and he's a 1 lore. Like, he's fine. 2 lore would have made this guy superb. 1 lore, you know, it's alright. It's a good body. Wayward Sorcerer, this is more like it. This is a 4-costed flourish, 3/4 in Amethyst, Mickey Mouse Wayward Sorcerer, Dreamborn Sorcerer for 2 lore. You can, he's got loads of abilities that right now don't do anything, but I think could be really great. Definitely a build around card. Whether it's a good card, we don't really know yet, but it's definitely a good fun build around card. Animate Broom, you can pay 1 ink less to play Broom characters. And Ceaseless Worker, whenever one of your Broom characters is banished in the challenge, you may return it to the card to your hand instead. So rather than it going to the discard, it gets bounced back to your hand. Real strong stuff. It really just depends on the Broom. Are Brooms going to be 4-costed cards, or are they going to be 1-costed cards? Pretty much makes all the difference as to how good this card really is. I theorize quite badly that it would be incredible if a Broom card was similar to a apostle. What's the apostle called in Magic? There's an apostle in Magic, I forget its full name. Petitioners, something petitioners. I forget the adjectives of all of these names. But there's a few cards in Magic. Relentless Rats, and remember that one, Relentless. There are half a dozen cards, maybe a few more in Magic, that break the rule of a playset number in your deck, or break the rule of a singleton number in your deck if it's a commander, by on the card it reads, you can have as many of this card in your deck as you like. How incredible would that be to see? It would be incredibly thematic. A 1-drop Broom that says you can play as many as you like. You just do a load of those, a Mickey Mouse, and just go to town and just do a really crazy go wide. I think it'd be really good fun. Mickey Mouse Wayward Sorcerer is as good as the Broom is going to be. Hot takes, 1 jump. Next up is a 2-costed non-flourish action song. So this is the first subtype we've seen in the game. This is a song, an action subtype, excuse me. Song basically gives it the ability for your creatures to convoke it into play. So instead of paying the ink cost, you can exert a character and they can sing it for free with a caveat. So here, a character with cost 2 or more can exert to sing this song for free. Now, what we don't know is whether or not that 2 or more is applicable to all songs, or whether that number is directly associated with the cost of the card. So if it's a 3-costed song, you need to exert a creature with 3 cost, and so on or so forth, or whether they're all going to be 2, we don't know. At the minute, it's a really great card because it's the first ramp card we've seen. There is a second one coming up, but for now, this is the only one really that you can ramp with, which is to put a card at the top of your deck, face down, and exert it into your inkwell. Couple of things we're unsure about this one yet so far. We think that this card will overwrite the need for flourished cards to go into ink. Currently you can't put if it doesn't have the symbol around the 2, the fancy symbol around the 2, you couldn't play it as ink. But we're pretty sure this one overwrites that. So it's good. There's a chance that you put something you really want in there, but then there are also ways of being able to manipulate the top of your deck, like Isma, for instance. She lets us loot. She lets us scry. I'm hoping we come up with Lorcana terms for all of these words. But she lets you look at the top card and either keep it on top or put it at the bottom. So if we've got an Isma and we can look at it and go, I really don't want that, I'm going to play 1 jump ahead and just do some ramp instead. You know, that's pretty good, pretty solid. You know, again, Amethyst Sapphire definitely seems to be working together on a few different levels. Next up, we have Scar Fiery Yusuper. He is a 4-costed flourish card for 5/3 in Ruby. He's a Dreamborn villain with 1 lore. Just a vanilla body on the ground. Not sure this one will see much play, honestly. His willpower is a little low for what the deck wants to do, I think. It is good to see some creatures that clearly want to combat. Like, it may just be that he sort of, you know, trades up. You know, that 5 strength does smack a lot of the bigger things, which is pretty good. So it might just be that he's a trade up card. Ruby, so far, we've seen a lot of evasive stuff, and it's very much like I'm just going to sit here and quest, and you're going to struggle to deal with it. So it is good to see that there are stuff in that colour that is going to try and affect the board state through challenges as well. Excuse me. So maybe it sees play just as the body that you need to keep your evasive stuff from getting into trouble. But at the minute, it's difficult to really judge vanillas, honestly. Isma Alchemist. She's a 2-costed flourish card for 2/2 in Amethyst. She is a Dreamborn villain sorcerer. so goes into villain matters decks nicely. I think you are excused. Whenever this character quests, look at the top card of your deck and put it on either the top or the bottom of your deck. Yeah, solid 2 for 1 with some deck manipulation is pretty good. Hasn't really popped off. I think that until we see more and more stuff that we're going to want to look for, and more things where the top of our deck matters, such as the one jump ahead card, I think this will see a rise in playability, but still, yeah, pretty good. Okay, so they were all the ones that came out as part of the rules release from either the Game Trade magazine or the Quick Rules release that was officially released. Since then, we've had a couple more articles with some new stuff, one of which talks briefly about organized play. The other one talks even more about organized play, enough to do a separate video on it. So we won't be discussing the organized play stuff here today, but these are the cards that were revealed with that. So first of all, we have our Ruby Aladdin. We'd already seen the awesome art for this, but now we get to see it on a card. It is the Heroic Outlaw. He's a 7-costed flourish card for 5 strength. We don't know the willpower because of how the art's displayed. He's Shift Aladdin, so this guy goes on top of Prince Ali nicely, so there could be a Ruby Emerald deck there. He's a Floodborn hero, obviously because he has Shift. Again, all Floodborns seem to have Shift. That seems to continue to be a recurring theme. We don't know what his lore is, but he does have the ability, as well as the Shift ability, he has the ability Daring Exploit. During your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, you gain 2 lore and each opponent loses 2 lore. Insane. The first time we've seen lore manipulation, which is fantastic, because right now in testing, one of the big problems is if somebody gets an early lead on lore, they can sit back and rest on their laurels because they've got all the time in the world to deal with the table and just to keep ticking up. Now this proves that we are going to be able to affect that number directly. Obviously this is the first card to do it, but there's definitely going to be others. This instantly is much better in a multiplayer format than a single player format, Currently, it's in a 2-player game, it's a 4-way swing in lore. In multiplayer, it's an 8-way swing in lore. Like, it's insane. Opponents will lose 6 lore cumulatively in a 4-player game. So really great. I'm so excited for this. I'm a multiplayer player, honestly. I play a lot more Commander Magic than any other format. So I will say that I'm pretty sure any sort of organized play will be 1v1, and most online play probably will be 1v1. But there is very rarely a night at the end of the day when I work at an LGS. There's very rarely a night that we don't have a game of Commander before we go home. If a couple of nights a week that could be Lorcana, oh, I'm there for it, baby. Moana, again, another one where we'd already seen the art by Nicholas Cole. We now get to see the card as well. She's a 5-costed flourish in Amber for 1/6, so interesting stat line. And she has 3 lore, so pretty good. We can fix it. Whenever this character quests, you may ready your other princess characters. They can't quest for the rest of this turn. So princess matters now. We've seen villain with Hades. We're now seeing princess with Moana. I'm sure there's going to be lots of fun combos we can do with this. The one that obviously immediately jumps out is Moana and Mulan. So Mulan, when she banishes a character, all of your other cards get +1 lore. So you have 3 cards out for 3 lore. Let's just call them 1/1s to keep the math easy. Moana and Mulan. Moana quests, you gain 3. No, sorry, before you do that, Mulan hits and kills something. So now all those 1s are worth 2s, so you've doubled from 3 up to 6 lore. Then Moana quests, you gain 3 more lore, that's 9. She readies Mulan. Mulan then goes and kills something else, banishes something else. I'm getting there. And then all of your other 3 get another one, meaning that's 9 total. So that's 12. So that's 12 lore from 3 1-drops and the combo. very specific build. Obviously, you know, you've got to have both the Mulan and the Moana stick and have something for the Mulan to attack into. So it may not happen as much, you know, as we would like, perhaps. Mulan at the moment very rarely makes it round a turn, but you only need that one, right? Like, without targeted removal, before they start exerting, they're a bit safer. So I don't know. That's cool. That's a really cool combo, I think. Princess is just going out and getting it. It's awesome. And then the other art that we've already seen before, Simba, again from Nicholas Cole. This guy is crushing it. The Disney Ravensburger has basically paid for his kids to get into college for this first set, I think. It is a 7-costed flourish card in steel. Simba, Returned King. He's a 4 strength, unknown willpower, and unknown lore. He has the ability Challenger, which we've already seen on Captain Hook, Forceful Duelist. He has a Challenger +4. Whew, it's pretty huge. So when he's challenging, when he is the attacker, he gets +4. So he's an 8. He's an 8 strength. Like, there's very little he can't kill. It'll be very little he can't banish. Depending on his willpower, will really decide on how good he is. He also has the ability Pounce. During your turn. Oh, Pounce! I was right. Huh. Sorry, we first saw this German, and the literally translation from German was cat jump, I think. And I said, it's clearly going to be pounce, because he learns to pounce. Like, there's a whole thing in the movie where they're talking about how to pounce. And now we've seen an English translation, and I was correct. Jonty is sometimes right. Pounce. During your turn, this character gains evasive. So this is a mix of Captain Hook, Forceful Duelist, and Robin Hood subtitle, and like a good body, I think. Like his willpower really is affecting here how good he is. I imagine his lore is going to be pretty low. He's clearly not a quester. He's a challenger. He's not a lover. He's a fighter. But it'd be, yeah. I think this is okay. A lot of people are poo-pooing this one. I don't think it's terrible. It's not mind-blowing, and I think the problem is it was revealed at the same time as 2 pretty mind-blowing cards. Aladdin showing us that we have lore interaction, and Moana just having that like crazy princess matters stuff going on. So I think like it's a shame that he kind of was shown at the same time as them, because he's not quite as mind-blowing, but I still think he's an okay body on the board. I still think he's going to do some fun damage. Captain Hook trades up incredibly. Like Simba, by the time you're playing Simba, trading up isn't going to be as much of a thing. You know, you're not going to be quite getting the value of the 1-for-1 trade up there into something bigger. But still, I still don't think it's terrible. Fire the Cannons. We know it's called Fire the Cannons, and that's it, honestly. Like I say, we've been playing this as a 3-costed deal 2 to chosen character. We know that it's a steel action, and it's called Fire the Cannons. We only know it's called Fire the Cannons because of the Captain Hook card. It could be called something else. It could be called... Okay, and then last up, there's been an awesome article from Comic Book about the organised play system. Again, we will talk about that properly in another video, but the organised play system does come with a few card reveals. First of all, it shows us Isma again in a slightly clearer image. One thing to note here, so we are going to talk more about the organised play thing in another video, but I do want to say that it looks like these are promos for the organised play. They are not alternate arts. I'll be honest, I would have liked to see alternate arts, I won't lie, or maybe extended arts or something. They do have a promo rarity at the bottom, though, so it is clear that these are... You have earned these from playing within organised play. So it is nice that they're different. I am all for non-mechanically unique promos that look different. I am all for it. You give us fancy arts, fancy foils, extended arts. I mean, maybe these have got fancy foiling. We don't know yet. But yeah, I'm all for that. As long as they're not mechanically unique, as long as there is a card in the regular set that does the exact same, I'm all for making them as fancy as you like. Go for it. It does nothing but bring the cost down of the regular versions, which is all good for me. So at the moment it looks like it's just the promo symbol at the bottom, which is nice, it's neat, it's very similar to the Magic promos. They often just have a Planeswalker symbol in the corner, but I would really have liked to see alt arts. Maybe we'll see that in the more competitive play side, because they're going to be pushing these out every 3 months, so maybe it's a little bit too much work and a little bit too much cost for them. But anyway, we'll talk more about that in the organised play video. We have here now 2 new cards. First of all, Mickey Mouse Detective. He is our Sapphire Mickey. Like I say, pretty much guaranteed we're getting one of every colour now at this point. He's a 3-costed non-flourish 1/3 for 1 lore with Dreamborn Hero Detective. New keyword there, Detective, which sounds fun. And then Get a Clue. He basically has the same ability as the One Jump Ahead card, but on a stick is always good. Whenever you play this character, you may put the top card of your deck into the Inkwell Facing Exerted. 3-costed 1/3 that can't act as a ink, but get you an ink. Great card, I feel. That's a great card, isn't it? I think that's a great card. And then finally, Hi Snack. I can't even think what that word is. I think I've seen Moana once. I need to go and watch it, or I need to go and check the Discord to see what sort of snack he is. Fat Snack. He's not even fat. I don't know. 1-costed flourish card for 1/2 in Amber. He's a Storyborn ally, and he has... This is tricky. There's going to be some contention here, I think, until we see it better. I'm pretty sure that keyword is support. Whenever this character quests, you may something their strength to chosen character's strength this turn. I'm going to guess it's add, but then might yeah, it adds. It wouldn't be swap because 2. It wouldn't be 2, would it? Yeah. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's add. So support. Whenever this character quests, you may add their strength to chosen character's strength this turn. That's really great. What an interesting design. I really like that. So basically, he can quest for 1, and then you can give his 1 strength to something that wants to challenge and would rather not quest. That's really good fun. If we see characters with support with like 2 lore or even 3 lore, I feel like they're going to be really strong. But to be honest, turn 1 play, hi, that's great. Hi, hee. I don't know, sound like I'm doing a terrible Michael Jackson impression. And whilst not a card, I think it's worth pointing out we do have Ariel. She's amazing. I'm a big Little Mermaid fan, as you can probably guess from the channel, and she looks fantastic. I can't wait to see her card. I'm pretty... Oh, there's even a symbol, so we know she's going to be a Sapphire card. Sorry, I'm still getting used to the colours. So here's the thing regarding the colours and why I'm so terrible with them. I am crazy colourblind. I have tritanopia, so I have a really bad colour deficiency, and because of that, I can see all the colours. They're different enough. I will say that a lot of the green and red cards look very similar, and a lot of the green and red cards can look very different from other green and red cards as well. I'm hoping it's just sort of artifacts from online. I hope when they come down on the board in real life, they're closer. But I do struggle a little bit that way. But because I struggle with the colours, I don't associate these names. I don't associate amethyst with purple things, and I don't associate sapphire with blue things. It's not how my brain registers them. So every single time I name them, I have to go through and like do like a little extra check and make sure I'm doing right. So that's why I keep getting them wrong. I apologize. I'm getting better, and we'll continue to improve. Other pins as well, they look awesome. We'll talk more about that in the organized play kit. Stop the presses. We have 3 more cards. Literally, whilst I was editing this video, a Polygon article dropped with 3 more cards. I'm going to have a good read through it later on, but I'm just going to show you the cards now because, like I say, this is a big card reveal video. This puts us up to like 21 now today in this video. This is crazy. First of all, Let It Go, another song card. An action song. It's a 5-costed sapphire. A character with cost 5 or more can exert to sing this song for free, and you can put a chosen character into their player's inkwell face down and exerted. I'm not sure about this one. Targeted removal is going to be strong in this game because otherwise you can just hold back from challenging and gather lore and yeah. So targeted removal is really strong. I don't know whether this is 5 is expensive, although Dragonfire does pop off. It's basically Dragonfire with an upside for your opponent in the fact that you're ramping them, that you're literally giving them a mana. This is in Magic, this would be turn creature into a land, you know. So I'm not sure about this one. One thing that's interesting to note though, 5-costed card and a character with cost 5 can exert. So I wasn't sure whether the exert cost was always going to be the same for these. It does seem to be that the exert cost, the sing cost, I guess, is the same as the cost of the card. So I like the malleability of it. I like being able to play with it, to pay with it with characters. But getting rid of something can be really strong, but giving them ramp, I don't know. I'm unsure about that one. Next up, we have Christoph. He's a 3-costed flourish card for 3/3 in steel, a Storyborn ally, official Ice Master. He is a 2 lore Vanilla, yeah, fine. 2 lore is good. 2 lore on a body is good. This lines it up not quite as strong as some of the other vanillas we've seen with 2 lore on them, but you know, fine. And then finally the frying pan, a steel item, our first steel item. This is a 2-costed item that says you can banish this item and then chosen character can't challenge during their next turn. This is pretty good, I think, especially for a low rarity like this. In an item deck, you know, a sapphire steel maybe is going to be a thing. This is, you know, practically free and can just sit there and just shut something down, meaning you can go and get all the questing done without fear of rebuttal. Pretty solid card. I'll link to all of these articles in the description so you can go and read all of them. Anyway, back to Jonty from about 45 minutes ago. This video is so long that my camera stopped recording. There you go, 18 new cards. Woof, I sat down with a coffee. It's already starting to get cold. It took us that long to get through all these, but it was fun, wasn't it? Some really interesting stuff. The more stuff we see, the more fun the playtesting gets, the more exciting that the game gets. I'm here for it, man. I'm all in on this. And if you are as well, again, please make sure you've subscribed so you don't miss any more from the Lumineers. I will be back. There was going to be a video going out today about how to test the game in Tabletop Simulator. I'll probably push that till tomorrow now so I can get this one out because, you know, new cards and, you know, let's go hype train YouTube. And we'll do a video on the organized play stuff as well because that's something as a game store manager that I'm very interested in as well. Love you all to bits. Until the next one, be good. A red Mickey, we've seen a green Mickey, we've seen a ruby Mickey, an emerald Mickey, we've seen a sapphire Mickey, we've seen we've seen a ruby, oh my god, we've seen a sapphire Mickey, we've seen an emerald Mickey. No, we haven't seen a sapphire Mickey. Yes, we have. Oh god, I get so bad with the colours. We've seen a sapphire Mickey in, no. Oh, Jesus. We've seen an Amethyst Mickey in Wayward Sorcerer. We're going to look at him in a moment. We've seen an Ember Mickey. An Ember Mickey? What's Ember? Ember's not even a colour.